There's a war happening inside you. Right now, not a metaphor, a real war. Every morning your alarm rings, and something inside you says no. Every time you sit down to work, something inside you says not yet. Every time you decide to change, something inside you says tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. Most people spend their entire lives losing this war, not because they are weak, not because they lack discipline, because nobody ever told them that the mind is not something you are. It is something you train. Miyamoto Musashi commanded his mind with absolute authority. He could decide to feel no fear, and fear would vanish. He could decide to focus for hours, and distraction would disappear. He could decide to act, and hesitation would dissolve. Before he died, he wrote down the exact system he used to make his mind completely obedient. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how it works. And at the end of this video, I will leave you with one truth that will change how you think about your mind forever. Subscribe now, hit the like button, and tell me in the comments how your mind disobeys you most. Procrastination, distraction, fear, doubt. Let's begin. Artur is 33 years old. He runs a team of 8 people. By every external measure, he is successful. But Artur has a problem that no external success can solve. Every time something important is on the line, his mind finds a way to stop him. Before a difficult conversation with his team, his mind says avoid it. Before a decision that could change everything, his mind says wait. Before an action that requires courage, his mind says not yet. Artur thought his problem was confidence. He was wrong. His problem was that he had never understood the most fundamental truth about the relationship between a man and his own mind. Musashi called it Kokoro no Shihai, mastery of the heart-mind. Most people believe they are their mind, which means they have no leverage to control it. Musashi realized something different. You are not your mind. You are the master. Your mind is the servant, and servants must be trained to obey. He wrote, you must establish yourself as master in your mind as the tool. When the tool disobeys, you discipline it. When the tool obeys, you strengthen it. Artur had spent 33 years asking his mind to cooperate. Musashi was not asking. He was commanding. The moment Artur understood this distinction, everything changed. His mind said avoid the conversation. Artur said no. We are having it now. His mind rebelled. Artur held the command. 30 seconds of resistance. Then his mind obeyed. It was the first time in his life he felt like the master of his own consciousness. A Stanford neuroscientist who spent 18 years studying executive function found that the prefrontal cortex, your conscious decision-making center, should be dominant over limbic impulses. But in most people, the relationship is reversed. The limbic system generates impulses, and the prefrontal cortex rationalizes obedience to those impulses. This could be retrained, but only if you understand who is supposed to be in charge. 1 week into practicing command over negotiation, Artur discovered problem. His mind would obey small commands, but when he gave a large command, work on this difficult project for 3 hours straight, his mind would simply refuse. The refusal was so strong, he could not override it. He went back to Musashi's writings and found the principle he had missed. Tan, forging through resistance. The sword is forged by being heated to extreme temperature and hammered repeatedly. Each strike makes it stronger. The mind is identical. You must heat it with difficulty and hammer it with discipline. But here is what Musashi understood that most people miss. You cannot give an untrained mind advanced commands. You are asking it to run a marathon before it has walked a mile. Of course it refuses. Artur started small. Instead of focus for 3 hours, he commanded focus for 5 minutes on one specific task. His mind tried to resist. This is boring. Check something. But 5 minutes was short enough to hold the command. His mind obeyed. Victory. Next session, 10 minutes. His mind resisted less. It had begun to learn that resistance against this master was futile. After 2 weeks, 25 minutes. After a month, 90 minutes. Zero resistance. a Harvard researcher studying willpower and self-control for 20 years. Found self-control operates like a muscle. Small successful exercises strengthen it. Large failed exercises damage it. Subjects who practice progressive self-control challenges show exponential capacity growth. Subjects who attempt large challenges before building capacity show progressive capacity decline. Small victories build the muscle. Large failures before the muscle exists destroy it permanently. 6 weeks into his training, Artur faced a critical test. He had commanded his mind. No social media during work hours. His mind obeyed until 3 p.m. Then it launched a massive rebellion. Just once. You have been focused all day. 1 minute will not hurt. The temptation was overwhelming. Artur felt himself about to cave. Then he remembered Musashi's third principle, senator cutting off escape. When the mind sees an escape route, it will take it. When there is no escape, the mind obeys. The master must cut off all paths of retreat before giving the command. Musashi prepared for duels by eliminating his mind's escape options. He would announce duels publicly, so shame prevented retreat. He would study his opponent until running was more dangerous than fighting. He removed every option except obedience. Artur applied Sun immediately. He deleted every social media app. From his phone, he installed a website blocker. On his laptop during work hours, he told his team he was unreachable between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Now his mind calculated the escape route. Distraction required reinstalling apps, finding passwords, explaining to his team why he had lied. That path required more effort than simply obeying the command. His mind chose obedience. A Yale psychologist who studied temptation and resistance for 17 years found environmental design is more powerful than willpower. When the path to temptation is made difficult, compliance increases by 60 to 80%. The mind calculates effort. When temptation costs more than compliance, compliance wins every time. You are not weaker than your temptations. Your environment is weaker than your temptations. Fix the environment. The mind follows. 2 months into his training, Artur noticed something that bothered him. His mind was obeying, but not immediately. There was always a gap between command and action. Command: start the difficult project now. Mind: in 5 minutes. He would eventually start, but that delay was its own form of disobedience. A slow servant is still a disobedient servant. He found Musashi's fourth principle, Sashin, immediate obedience. Between command and execution, there must be no gap. If the warrior commands strike, and his body hesitates even for a moment, he dies. The gap is not neutral. The gap is where disobedience lives. Musashi trained this with ruthless precision. He would give himself a command and count. 1, 2, 3. If his body had not moved by 3, he would repeat the action 10 times. His mind learned the mathematics quickly. Immediate obedience costs 1 action. Delayed disobedience costs 10. Artur implemented the same protocol. Alarm rings. Feet hit floor. 3 seconds. No negotiation. No 5 more minutes. If he delayed, he reset and practiced 10 immediate responses. Stand up. Lie down. 10 times. Within 2 weeks, his alarm would ring, and his feet would hit the floor. Before his conscious mind had engaged, the gap had closed completely. An MIT cognitive scientist found, when action follows decision immediately, completion rates increase by 200%. The gap is not a small problem. The gap is where failure lives. Close the gap. Every time, without exception. 3 months into his training, Artur hit a wall. In some situations, his mind obeyed perfectly. In others, he still struggled. Without explanation. Same training, same protocols, different results. He went back to Musashi's writings. The fifth and final principle. Ishin, one mind unified. The mind divided against itself cannot be commanded. Part of you wants to obey. Part of you wants to rebel. This internal division creates a war that no external system can resolve. and you cannot control which side is stronger in any given moment. Musashi's solution was absolute. Eliminate the division entirely. He spent years establishing a hierarchy, so clear that internal conflict became impossible. Mastery above comfort, truth above approval, commitment above convenience. Once these hierarchies were absolute, there was no internal war. When comfort said avoid the conversation, and mastery said have it, there was no battle. Mastery was definitionally more important. The outcome was determined. Before the moment arrived, Artur wrote his own hierarchy: growth over comfort, commitment over convenience, presence over distraction. He memorized it until it was automatic. Now, when his mind said, avoid the difficult decision, his unified mind answered immediately. Commitment is higher priority, then convenience. We are making the decision now. No debate, no internal war. The rebel faction had no ground to stand on. A Princeton researcher found internal value conflict is the primary predictor of self-control failure. When values are hierarchically organized with clear dominant structures, self-control success increases dramatically. Unity is not the suppression of desire. Unity is the clarity of which desire wins. Always. 6 months after the first morning, Artur commanded his mind instead of negotiating with it. The transformation was complete. Not dramatic, not overnight, in the way that things change when they're trained correctly. For long enough, he woke up when he decided to wake up. No negotiation. He focused when he decided to focus. No distraction. He had the difficult conversations his team needed him to have. No avoidance. His colleagues noticed before he did. You seem different, more present somehow, more decisive. His manager stopped him one afternoon. Whatever you are doing, keep doing it. Artur said nothing, because what he was doing could not be explained in a hallway. He had not become more talented. He had not found better systems. He had done something far more fundamental. He had established who was in charge, and the answer was no longer his impulses. The answer was him. The 5 principles working together. Kokoro no Shihai, you are the master. Tan, forge obedience progressively. Sun, eliminate every path to retreat. Sashin, zero gap between command and action. Ishin, unify your mind under one hierarchy, not 5 separate techniques. One complete system, each principle building on the last, each one making the next more powerful. A Columbia University researcher who spent 21 years studying habit formation and behavior change found the relationship between conscious intention and behavioral execution is trainable. Subjects who consistently enforce their intentions show progressive strengthening of intention. Behavior coupling. Subjects who allow intentions to be overwritten show progressive weakening. This is neural pathway reinforcement. Each repetition either strengthens or weakens the pathway. Every time your mind disobeys you, and you accept it, you train disobedience. Your mind learns commands are optional. We can ignore them, and the disobedience pattern strengthens. Every time your mind disobeys you, and you enforce the command anyway, you train obedience. Your mind learns commands are mandatory. Resistance is futile, and the obedience pattern strengthens. Most people have spent decades training disobedience. They make decisions their mind immediately overrules, and they accept the override. Every single time, by 30 or 40, their mind has learned that it is the master, and they're the servant. Musashi did the opposite. From early in his training, he never let his mind disobey without consequence. His mind learned the master's commands are absolute. Obedience is the only option. What is trained can be retrained. The question is not whether it is possible. The question is whether you are willing to pay the price of consistency that retraining requires. Here is exactly how to apply Musashi's system starting today. Not next week, not on Monday. Today, month 1, Kokoro no Shihai. Shift identity completely. I am a master. My mind is the tool. Give small commands. Sit still for 5 minutes. Stand up right now. Start this task immediately. When your mind obeys, acknowledge it. when your mind disobeys. Enforce the command without negotiation. Goal: establish the master. Servant relationship. Month 2. Tan and Sun simultaneously. Increase command difficulty gradually. 5 minutes becomes 10. 10 becomes 25. 25 becomes 60. Never increase difficulty until current level has 90%. Obedience rate. Simultaneously eliminate escape routes. For every major command, remove the temptation from the environment before giving the command. Goal: build obedience capacity while closing every exit. Month 3. Sashin and Ishin. Implement the 3-second rule. Command given. Action starts within 3 seconds. If delay occurs, reset and practice. Immediate response 10 times. Simultaneously write your value hierarchy. What is definitionally more important? Then what? Memorize it until it is automatic. When internal conflict arises, consult the hierarchy immediately. Higher priority value always wins. No debate. After 3 months of this system, your mind will obey you. Not sometimes. Always. Not eventually. Immediately. Not with struggle. Naturally. Because you will have done what Musashi did. You will have trained your mind the way a warrior trains a weapon. With consistency. With discipline. With the absolute understanding of who is in charge. Here is the one truth I promised you at the beginning. The truth that changes everything about how you think about your mind. You are not battling your mind. You are training your mind. And every single interaction is a training session. Every time you negotiate with your alarm, you train your mind that negotiation works. Every time you check your phone, instead of finishing what you started, you train your mind that distraction wins. Every time you avoid the difficult thing, you train your mind that avoidance is acceptable. And every time you hold a command, when everything in you wants to yield, you train your mind that you are the master. There is no neutral moment. Every interaction either strengthens your authority over your mind or weakens it. Musashi chose to strengthen it every single time for 50 years. That is why his mind never disobeyed him. Not because he was born different, because he trained differently. You are not fighting your mind. You are training your mind, and training works when you are consistent. Start now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now, because the training session has already begun. The question is only this: who is winning it? If this reached something inside you, subscribe and activate the bell. Leave one comment below. The first command you are going to give your mind today and enforce it absolutely. See you in the next video.